Are you sensitive to energy? Do you sometimes feel like you need a force field to protect you from everything that's going on around you? Do you pick up other people's energy really easily? For instance, if you walk into a room, can you tell what people are thinking? Or if someone's just had a fight in there? Or if they're happy, or sad, or grumpy? This is called being an empath. And although this might seem trying at times, and believe me, it can be quite excruciating, it also can become a superpower if you learn how to develop it in the right way. So today I just wanted to talk about one simple trick that you can use to protect yourself when you're going out into public spaces and feeling overwhelmed. Firstly, I'd like to give you a little story about how I discovered I was an empath and just the different little things that have happened to me over the years. So when I was really little, my dad and I had a very close relationship. He was a really loving person and very open. And we were very similar in how we related to each other and to the world. And one day when I was a child, there was a marching band coming up our street. And we rushed outside because we lived in this tiny little town where really nothing much happened. And it was a very unusual occurrence. And we were right out in the suburbs too. So to see this marching band just kind of coming up the street for no reason, blowing their trumpets and beating their drums and playing the violin, it was really exciting. And both me and my dad rushed outside to see it. And while we were standing there watching the band go by, this huge wave of emotion just seemed to flood over me and engulf me. And I got completely swept away by it, and I started crying my eyes out and not really knowing why I was so overwhelmed. Because surely the band was a happy thing, right? But what I felt was that I was picking up on everyone's energy. And I looked up and I saw that my dad was in exactly the same situation. He was crying too. And my brother turned to us and he said, "What are you two crying about? This is a happy thing. Like, what's your problem? What's going on with you?" And that was when I realized that I was a little bit different to my brother. So, as an empath, it can be very exhausting, actually, to be constantly surrounded by and aware of everyone's energy. And sometimes you just wish it would stop, right? So there are things that you can do to shield yourself from from this extra energy and from this energy entanglement with others. But firstly, I want to talk a little bit about why it's happening. So the thing that makes you different from other people is that you've started to really tap into the true essence of what we are, which is energy. We are actually just all energy fields, little fields of consciousness, if you like. And as an empath, you've started to realize that we're all connected to a greater whole and to each other. And what this means is you have very open boundaries. Your energy field is quite open. Now this is a powerful thing because you can use it for good. You can use it to have empathy for other people and to help them with their problems and to understand their viewpoints. But it can also be very overwhelming. One of the reasons that we do this, and one of the reasons that we actually become an empath, can also be because of trauma. So going through trauma as a child where you felt like you weren't heard, you weren't worthy, you were abandoned, very often led us to abandon ourselves. So it led us to think that, well, we aren't, nobody's noticing us, we're not having our needs met, and so everybody else around us is much more important. We need to, the only way we're going to survive is if we start watching what they're doing, listening to them very carefully, being hyper vigilant basically, and people pleasing. And in that process we tend to abandon our own energy. We forget the essence of who we are and what we are at the core. Do you find yourself putting off doing things like going to the supermarket or being in a busy shopping mall or going to a restaurant, not really wanting to hang out with certain family groups and friend groups because you know it's going to be particularly draining on your energy, and you come home really feeling quite scattered. This happened to me recently when I had to attend my child's book parade. It was a lovely day. Like, we were going to the school, and it was so cute to see all the kids dressed up, and I wanted to be there and I wanted to support her and enjoy it. And just out of nowhere, as the music started and the kids started to parade around, I suddenly again felt that familiar overwhelm, where I felt this energy just kind of coming at me, and I started to tear up immediately. And although there were so many happy people in the crowd, I could also feel their guilt and their shame, their fear, their anxiety for not being good enough for their kids, just everything. I could feel it all, and it started to overwhelm me, and I started to cry. And here I was, this new mom at the school, and I didn't want to draw attention to myself. And then I remembered this prayer that I'd been taught, and this is something that I would like to share with you today. So, when you're in these difficult situations, you can call upon Guardian Angel Michael, and I offer you this shielding prayer to use as a simple daily practice. You can do this just before you go to the supermarket. You can do this just before you need to go to a dinner party. Or you can just remember to do this first thing every morning and have your energy protected throughout the day. And it really is powerful, and it gives instant relief. So here it is. So you can just close your eyes and say out loud, Guardian Angel Michael, please step forward to assist me now. Please shield me in your loving wings. Put a cloak of protection around me so that I don't feel any negative energy and none can penetrate. Only love. Thank you. And what this does is actually provide you with a safe space, like a force field. This is a shielding prayer. And what will happen then is nothing of negative frequency or vibration can penetrate. You won't actually feel the pain and the grief and the frustration of others. It won't be able to penetrate into your field. But what will happen is that if there is any lingering sadness or feelings of unease that you have in your own life, you can actually, this is helpful because you are able to untangle that, to know that this isn't tangled energy that I'm receiving from another. This is actually my energy, and in the core of it I can work out what it is that I need to release. And this is such a helpful practice. I use it every day. I hope this helps you. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it, and if you'd like to receive more hot tips from me, the Flamekeeper, for everyday grounded spirituality, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.